Gentlemen, you know on this channel I'm always talking about how extra large men can look big, large, beautiful, and in charge. Put on some sophisticated apparel and really put in some pop and put out that prestige. However, today we're going to be talking a little bit about some foundation apparel. One that is seen and one that is seen only by a special few. Of course, I'm talking about socks and underwear here on Big Pretty Man. Hi, and welcome back to Big Pretty Man, channel for the extra large man who wants to live his life large and in charge. I'm your host, Timothy Big Pretty Crowe. I'm a wardrobe and lifestyle consultant for the extra large man. You know, gentlemen, in all of my videos, I've talked about shirts, I've talked about vests, I've talked about pants, I've talked about ties, even cravats. However, you know, one thing that I haven't talked about is what we wear underneath our clothes. And for an extra large man, what we're wearing underneath can actually be very important, not only for style and comfort, but also even for our health. Now, first I want to go over socks. I had mentioned socks in one of my videos on shoes, but I want to cover it a little deeper here. Now, socks, of course, have been worn for thousands of years. Otzi the Iceman was, when he was wearing his boots, it was found that he actually stuffed his shoes with straw. But later on, you know, that was like 5,000 years ago. Later on, we do find where hunters and hunter-gatherers, especially during the winter, would make a foot covering out of animal fur. So usually also like with rabbit, and usually have the fur on the inside for warmth. But, you know, of course, socks, you know, developed from there. And at one point, especially during the Middle Ages, to wear socks were actually, because they were difficult to weave and make, especially fine socks, it was really reserved for you know, for the nobility and royalty. However, getting later on, like into about the 16th into the 17th century, sock production became a little more affordable, and everyone started wearing stockings and socks. Now a lot of, you know, of course, the poor people would use something that was much more coarse, using with wool, you know, like for a bit of a heavier sock or stocking. You know, for the real sheer and fine stocking, it was still pretty expensive. But, you know, as time went on and we get into modern times, of course, they came up with, you know, a much more affordable sock. And, you know, and socks became much more standard. Now, when it comes to socks and the way that you dress, a couple of things that I do want to recommend. Now, one, it matters what type of sock you wear. Really matters on what you're doing. For instance, if you were going out to play basketball or football or go work out at the gym, then sports socks are fine, especially if you're wearing sports shoes. You know, runners, tennis shoes, whatever you want to call them, you know, jogging suits or workout suits, that type of thing, you know, that's fine. If you're going jogging, that's fine. Those type of socks are usually fairly thick, you know, and they're kind of made for athletic wear. However, you don't want to wear those type of sports socks when you're dressing either, you know, business casual, dressy casual, or, you know, or formal. You know, at that point, you want some good dress socks. Now, the best dress socks have a high count of thread, and they can be quite expensive. Also, in the way that they're put together. So, you know, some will have a hand stitch across the toe where it has to be sewn together, and if it's done by hand, it'll be very fine. However, if it's done by machine, you're going to have that thicker line. So if you see a thicker line on a sock, you know that it's going to be a cheaper sock because they don't have to pay for the labor. Now, you know, for the manual labor. Type of materials you want for a sock is going to be, for a dress sock, is going to be a very fine cotton or a silk, or possibly a silk cotton blend. Those give the best socks, and they should be thin socks for dress socks. You know, and if you are if you're working out or if you're using that type of athletic socks, are going to be made usually of cotton, usually thick cotton, and that's fine. Now, however, one thing that I would advise, and something that I see that I see far too often, is people wearing short socks. Ankle length socks, or just a little, up to the a little bit on the shin. The problem with that is they're going to droop. Also, they're going to droop, and then you're going to have them sagging around your foot. Look like you're doing bobby socks or something. Or when you cross your legs or something like that, you're going to show your calf. You see the end of those socks, and it just doesn't look very sophisticated. Therefore, I really recommend that you get knee length socks. For the exception of sports socks, any dress sock that you wear, I would highly recommend it being a knee length, because a knee high, I should say, knee high, because that way you get them up that high, they don't get them up over the calf. Then they don't slip down. If you get a good sock, there won't be a lot of slippage, and you also need to make sure you get socks that are in your size. A one size fits all doesn't always apply to, you wear different size shoes, of course. People have different size legs. You can have different size socks. Usually you can go by your shoe size. You can find a chart for well-made dress socks. They're going to tell you what size you really need. Now when it comes, there's another good thing about wearing these knee-high socks for extra large men, and that is a lot of times we have a lot of problems with our veins, with the muscles. We have a lot of weight and varicose veins, and even some swelling can happen when you're a heavy set man, especially someone my size, who's about 330 and 5'8". So that's always a concern, and you really watch your legs. And this also applies if you have any type of pre-diabetes or diabetes. Now, some people want to wear the compression socks. I find them not to be very attractive. I would recommend, unless it's being recommended, you've been told to do that by a doctor, and if your doctor tells you that, then yes, definitely follow his advice and his instructions. But if it's not that severe, then I would recommend, just getting the knee-high socks, and make sure that they're tight but not over tight. Just a good sock. It will actually help your legs. And even if you don't have the swelling and the problems, a good sock that's knee-high will actually help you with that. Help prevent that. So that's one part with big men I would always point out with socks, because as I said, I weigh about 330. That's about 300. That's about 165 pounds on each hoof. So you have to take care of your feet, and you have to take care of your legs. It's very important, especially as you get older. Now, when it comes to what kind of colors to wear, well, a lot of men with dress socks are these drab, either they're gray, they're black, or they're dark blue, like navy blue, and those are fine. Especially if you're going a little more of a conservative look. But in the last decade or so, more colorful combos of socks have become very popular, and something that I really like. Once again, even with your socks, just like I am with my cravats and my suits and my shirts, I want a little pop out there. I want to stand out just a little bit from that suit clone club. So and the wonderful thing is these socks, these more colorful socks that have been coming out, they really offer that. They offer that little splash of color even in a conservative business attire. So definitely go for the more colorful socks. Now, one type that I would really recommend, actually two. One that I most recommend would be what's called these two-tone socks. Usually you pull them on and they stretch out. They have the vertical stripes, of different color. They're usually not horribly flashy, and they actually look very professional, look very nice, and they kind of set off the outfit. Now, the second type that I would recommend, the one that I really like, just because it's a little different, is as I was showing earlier, I like a good striped sock. These horizontal striped socks. I think that they look really cool. I think that they, and if you'll notice with these colors, this is not drab. I got blue and yellow, a light blue and yellow, and here I've got a red and yellow. I think that just brings a lot of pop to your outfit. Now, and of course, now if you're going to wear socks like that, you want them to be seen. And as I said in one of my earlier videos about the cut of your pant, you want the break of your pant, if you're going to wear those type of socks, to be a little higher. Now, normally you want the break to come to about to where the tongue of your shoe comes, so right where you tie your shoes. That's usually where you want your break. However, if you're going to wear socks that you want to show off a little bit, you want it a little higher than that. So that when you walk, you can kind of see, maybe about that much higher, maybe an inch or two high, maybe where it comes just to the tongue of the shoe. That way, when you walk, people can see your socks. When you sit down, you cross your legs, you're definitely going to see the socks. So that's going to show off your socks. Now, if you're going to be showing off your socks like that, then of course you need to know how to color coordinate them. Now, a lot of people don't really tend to understand how to do this. Now, one of the rules is to go by your pants, that they should match should complement or match your pants, at least one of the colors. So if you're wearing like a navy blue pant, then maybe you want some blue in your sock with another color, and make sure that that's a complementing color to it. Now, and that will almost always work. For instance, I am wearing, here I am. I'm wearing a burnt orange and black. My pants are black, so therefore I could wear actually just a black sock and it'd be okay, or I could wear a black sock maybe with a little, with another little color in there, maybe like a yellow or an orange. That would work. Now, too many people want to match them to their shoes. Don't match them to your shoes. If you match your socks to your shoes, the whole effect is going to be lost. Try to match them to your pants. Now, the other thing you can do, and this is what I'm more likely to do, is match it to accessories or the other parts of your outfit. Maybe the color contrast and color combinations you're using in your upper body, in your shirt, your tie, your cravat, even your pocket square. You can always do that. And I think that actually makes your outfit really work a lot better. Now, for instance, I'm wearing this burnt orange and I'm wearing this black, a pair of orange and black, either two-tone socks or striped socks, are really going to go with this outfit. And then, of course, with this outfit, I would probably wear either a black dress shoe, which is what I'm wearing now, or you could wear you could even wear something more of a beige color dress shoe. That's going to kind of would go with my orange. I could do that. I'd probably just go with the black to set off the contrast of the socks. So you just like I talked about, that. Remember what I said. Your outfit and what you're wearing is a mechanism that feeds off of itself, just like your pocket square, or your boutonniere, or your tie, your cravat, and the color of your shirt, the color of your vest, the color of your suit jacket, the color of your hat. All of this is using, once again, color wheel. Using tertiary colors, using amalgamous colors, using complementing colors was my favorite things to do. All of that, you want to apply just as much to your socks as you do to your shirt and all of the rest of your apparel. That you want it to all work together. If you're going to show off your socks, it needs to be part of that mechanism as well. Now, one of the last things I want to say about socks is once again going back to the type of materials. If you're wearing more of a business formal or business apparel, then of course you want to wear the more refined dress socks made of silk, made of silk cotton blend, something like that. Usually a thin sock, and always knee high. However, it's not necessarily always a complete rule. For instance, sometimes in the cooler weather, like say in autumn or even winter, if you're having to dress for a little more warmer, then it's okay to wear warmer socks. But just because you're wearing warmer socks doesn't mean you have to throw on these thick winter socks like you're going on a hunting trip or something. Then I would say, just like the ones I showed you now, that's the reason I have them out, because it's still the cool of the year. Get a sock that's a little thicker. A little thicker of a sock. It still looks good. It's got a little more texture to it. It's a little closer to the type of material, the cotton or something that thicker cotton you'd use for athletes socks. But at the same time, it's got the same style. And believe it or not, now some people would say, no, don't do that. Hey, if it's cool and all that, actually a little texture, once again, in autumn clothing or winter clothing, always works well. And guess what? It's going to work well for your socks as well as it would for your sweaters and your tweeds and all these other things. You would warmer colors and warmer fabrics that you would wear in the winter. So you can apply it to your socks, and it's actually going to match, because in my opinion, if you're wearing thin dress socks, and all the rest of your apparel is more wool or a little more thicker and a little more robust, a little warmer look, and you've got on these it's not going to match. You've got on thin socks, and the rest of you's basically wool based. So a little thicker of a sock that's still stylish. I think that's good. I think that more matches your outfit. So definitely go out and and invest in some good socks, good thin dress socks, as well as a little bit of a thicker dress sock, and definitely go play with the colors. Get a lot of stripes, both vertical and horizontal. Play it up. You have a lot of variety in your socks, because just like you would with your shirts, the rest of your apparel, you want to play up your socks. Have a large supply of different types of striped socks. That you can match with your outfits. The more socks you have, just like with shirts, the more socks that you have in the different combos, the more choices you have, and the better success you're going to have in matching up your outfit. Now, of course, the next piece of apparel that we're going to be talking about is your unmentionables. But I'll mention them, your drawers. That's right, your drawers, your underwear. And really, when it comes to when we're thinking about our outfits, whether it be, especially if we're dressing casual, dressy casual, business casual, or business attire, or even formal attire, it's a lot of times we don't think about our underwear. We may think more about our socks, because people are going to see that, but we don't really think about our underwear. And it's like, well, who really cares? Nobody's really seeing your underwear. And I can understand that argument. However, it is important. It is important for a couple of reasons. One, it's important the type of underwear you wear for men's health, and I'm going to go over that in a minute. But also, come on, especially if you're a single man, or even if you're not, if you're married, you have a girlfriend, they're going to see you, those are the people that are going to see you in your underwear. So therefore, you want those underwear, just like any other presentation you would make, you want them to be flattering. Trust me, if you walk up in a bedroom with somebody and you've got a pair of old yellowish underwear, with some holes in them, and she may turn the lights up and turn on the TV. So you want those to look as appealing as you do when you with the rest of your outfit. So let's kind of go over underwear. Now, really, there are basically like 4 different types of underwear that you can wear. You can wear the basic tighty whities, or the briefs, the ones that we all wore as kids. Fruit of the Looms is one of the bigger brands. We're all familiar with the tighty whities. And then, of course, you have the boxer brief, which is more like a pair of shorts. I've always said that what's the difference between a pair of boxer underwear and a pair of shorts? Well, it's the P-flap. The P-flap doesn't have a zipper. Really, that's all that it is. It's an open P-flap. That's really the only difference, in my opinion. And then, of course, you have the Bikini Brief, if you must. That one will go. That one may be a little more suited for that romantic interlude night that when you know what's coming or you hope it's coming. But we'll go over that one too. Now, out of these underwear, one that I would not recommend for grown men, for extra large men especially, but actually for any man, and that would be the classic briefs. The tidy whities, no matter what color they are, the briefs, and the reason being is actually for your health because of your scrotum. Because your scrotum actually, the reason a man has a scrotum is because your testicles are supposed to stay about 1 or 2 degrees cooler than the rest of your body. That's the reason you have the scrotum down there. It separates it from the rest of the body and therefore cools it down those few degrees. Well, if you're wearing the tidy whities, then you're pulling your scrotum up to your body cavity, and it's defeating that purpose. That can seriously affect your sperm count. Now, you may not think that's a big. Now, that's really does apply if you're a younger man, but even for an older man, it can lead to other types of problems if you're keeping your testicles too warm. So you want some breathing room down there, a little bit of breathing room. So, therefore, boxers are really best. And not only boxers, but ones that are a little looser. However, and I will say this, I really don't like boxers. I hate boxer underwear. I don't know, like I said, I feel like I'm wearing shorts under my pants. And I don't like the lines they create in my pants. They're too loose, and it looks a little too bulky in your britches. So, I feel like I'm wearing too much layers there. So the ones that I really like are the boxer briefs. These are, long. These are made like briefs, but they're longer in the crotch, have more room in the crotch, and of course they have the longer leg, and it's a little more tight fitting, just like this pair here. And yes, I'm a big man. That's my underwear. It's taking up the whole screen. I'm going to put that down. That'll be making me want to make a diet video. I'm right here on YouTube. I'm showing my big ass underwear. Oh God, I apologize for that. But either way, no, I do like these type of underwear. As I said, they're a little more grip to the legs. They're still longer in the crotch, so I do get the a little more air, a little more space, so that the testicles don't get overheated. And even though I'm 52 and well past the time I want to be having more children, still, and actually I've had a vasectomy, but still, for my health, for your genital health, it is better to have a little more breathing room there. And that's an important thing I want to talk about when you pick out a pair of boxer briefs. If you're going to get a pair of boxer brief, if whatever your size is, I would recommend going one size bigger. Now, that only becomes a problem if the elastic band's too big for you. But if it's not, then that's actually better. Really look at a pair and look how long they are in the crotch. Make sure there's room. If there's not, then go that one size bigger. Because I'd rather, have them a little looser than at the band than to be up tight to the body, because then it's defeating the purpose. So so definitely when you buy them, check them out. This size is actually one size larger than what I would my normal size, because it gives me a little extra room. So that's one thing that I would definitely recommend. Now, lastly, we'll talk about the Bikini Brief. For a regular sized man, a thinner man, or a medium sized man, I can understand the Bikini Brief. They're kind of sexy, and all that, However, they have the same problem as the tidy whities, as the briefs, because they are really pulling your scrotum in, and that's not healthy for you. But for bigger men, I don't really think that's going to work very well for you. I mean, if you want to be romantic and a little play and all that, turn the wife on, the girlfriend on, and she likes that type of thing, go for it. Of course. But, I know that with the bikini swimsuits for men, if you're a big man, you're free to wear whatever you want. And if you have that much confidence, I admire you, but it's not going to be flattering. Here's the thing: if you're wearing bikini briefs and people look at you and think you're naked, the belly hanging over it, you probably shouldn't be wearing them. Get yourself a good almost knee pair of swimsuits. And and another thing, they're really not, for a big man, they're not going to be very comfortable. They're going to go up the crack of your ass. You're going to be wearing a male thong. And if maybe that'll turn your wife or girlfriend on. If it does, go for it. But other than that, it's not really I don't really need my butt flossed. I don't know about you. So I generally stick with the boxer briefs. Now, however, if you do want a little more color, a little more pizzazz, then you could go. There's much more variety with boxers, and you might want to invest in a couple of pair, maybe a little more colorful, maybe a little more stylish, especially if you really want to be stylish when you're going to bed, or whoever's your wife or significant other, or the sleepover date, you want to look a little stylish in your underwear, then you could throw on the boxers. But other than that, I personally like the boxer briefs. Just make sure they're longer in the crotch. So yeah, it's however you cover your ass is really your business. But for me, I recommend the boxer brief. Okay, folks. Well, that's all I've got for underwear and socks. If really wear what you want to wear, but if you take this advice, it'll help you look stylish, especially with your socks, and help you help you stay healthy both in your genitals and with your legs. And that was very important with an extra large man. And hey, and if you're enjoying enjoying my big mouth, then please go over and hit this little King Henry head with my pretty face. And give me a join. Be sure to subscribe, and give me a like. Also leave a comment below if you tell me what type of underwear and socks you like to wear. I'm always interested in hearing what my fans and my subscribers what they do in their practice. Hey, sometimes what you talk about is stuff that I might adapt. Sometimes you guys come up with some good ideas. And also, I have to say something before signing off, and that is, this video is the end of an era. Now, don't worry, I'm not closing down Big Pretty Man. But actually, I'm talking about the gods behind me. Of course, they have been a signature of my videos. Since my very first video, almost over a year and a half ago. Some people didn't like them at first, but a lot of people, they've just become such a stable part of these videos, just a constant that most people, really enjoy, become used to seeing them, and they're very comforting and familiar. Well, the thing is, I'm moving, and in fact, I'm going to be packing them. The house is pretty much packed up, and I'm going to be wrapping and packing these up actually in the morning. So this is the last video with this shelf and the gods on them. And I think in the next house, I may be redistributing them around. I don't know. I might still film in front of them, but we'll see. But most likely, this is, for all my gods behind my back, this is probably the last video. So I hope you enjoyed them as my backdrop. Okay, well, that's about it, folks. Just remember, put on some nice socks, put on some sexy underwear, and while you do it, you stay pretty.